Researchers asked a bunch of people to stay in a room by themselves and entertain themselves with their thoughts. The researchers also put a button on a desk in front of the participants, and if the participants pressed the button, they would get shocked. So guess what? 67% of the men participating on the research actually pressed the button. That means that 67% of people rather get shocked than be bored. This is a symptom of the overstimulated world that we live in. People are getting stimulated all the time by video games, porn, social media, all this kind of stuff in such a high level that if people are asked to be bored for 10 minutes, they actually prefer to get shocked. Maybe you don't realize how bad it is, but boredom is a key piece of productivity and creativity. Your mind creates connections. When it wanders, you need to allow mental space to your mind actually be productive and creative. If you are all the time stimulating your mind with new information and dopamine release and dopamine spikes, you're never gonna get to produce something actually creative in your life. If you don't believe me, just do a simple experiment. Lock yourself out of your video game, out of your phone, out of your social networks, any distractions. And after a few hours that way, tell me, how is it gonna feel to work for you? It's gonna feel like a pleasure. If you have nothing else to do, just sit and do some creative and good work. Feels like a pleasure because working is better than boredom. Well, to those participants, even getting shocked is better than being bored. The problem is most of people right now have dopamine resistance. Most of people need huge spikes of dopamine to feel anything because dopamine works by spikes. If you don't have a spike, you don't feel pleasure. And because of the overstimulation we have with a lot of content, cell phones and all this kind of stuff, in order to have a spike, you need to have a huge stimuli. Like porn, for instance, social media, video games, and all this kind of stuff. But if you increase your sensitivity to dopamine by getting more bored, then even an activity like working feels good for you. It's all about references. If you are spending more time in boredom, work feels like pleasure. So the message here is embrace boredom. Don't try to be stimulating your brain all the time. Obviously, you can sit and meditate. That's a way of practicing boredom. But you don't actually need to meditate. If you just sit by yourself and allow your mind to wander in different thoughts, you're definitely gonna be sensitizing yourself to dopamine. And I know in the beginning, it might feel quite overwhelming, but you need to push past the initial pain, the initial discomfort, and then your dopamine level will start to come down and be in a more healthy range. So make a favor to yourself today. Put your cell phone away for just 10 minutes and allow your mind to wander. That was the video for today, guys. And when you wake up in the morning, remember, it's never too late to take action. See you guys.